So I've been working on this problem for about 5,000 miles now. And it all started right after I bottomed out and busted a hole in the oil pan. And that was way back on 3/10/2024, new oil pan and gasket, checking our handy service records. So I thought it would be a pretty easy fix, just buy a new oil pan, put it on, and there was nothing else damaged on the car. It didn't damage the front end or the front bumper or anything, so shouldn't have any problems. And when I towed it home, we used another car and a ratchet strap. We didn't use a tow truck or anything. And I had the lights on my car, but the car wasn't running. So it made sense that it drained the battery, and then it sat here for a week. And it was showing all the symptoms of a dead battery, so I thought, just jump start it. It'll be fine. That's where we're going to go to right now, when I'm jump starting the car at 179,000 miles. Alright, so the Jetta's not running correctly. There's no check engine light. It's just sitting here idling. What the fuck is going on? First gear, it kind of wanted to die out. I guess I drove it 4.3 miles since I just got it back up and running. Okay, so we made it 13 miles, traction control light came on, EPC came on. Don't really know what to do about that. Let's see if we can get a scan on it while it's running. I don't want to shut it off because it's probably not going to start again because I don't know about the battery charging. And that could be a bad connection. I was having issues with that. So when I was jump starting it, I was having trouble getting a good connection, but I just figured, you know, it's old rusty jumper cables, typical farm stuff. But I knew enough not to shut the car off right here when I was pulling this check engine light code. It's idling okay now. Codes found 1. Read codes. O2 sensor. Yeah, no one cares. System 2 rich, bank 1. Mass airflow. Okay, so now we're having mass airflow problems. Alright, so I'm slowing down now and the Jetta feels a little weird. I'm going to try to leave it running at the bank.
Your destination is on the left.
Okay, and just as I'm getting to the bank, my power steering went and the car died. And the battery light came on, so yeah, that solves that for us. Probably not going to start again now. So my new theory is it's the battery is completely dead because I towed it home with the lights on. As much as I want to complain about the Jetta, it did get me to the bank and that's where I was going. So, alright, so we got the Jetta back up and running with a new battery. But the issue is, I have a bad connection on the negative cable. And about 6 months ago I was having trouble with my battery. I bought a new battery and then ended up cleaning the connections and getting the old battery to work. So if it seems like your car has a dead battery and then you buy a new battery and it still doesn't start, it could be in these connections because that's what I'm dealing with here. So all my old terminals were 10mm, which makes sense. Of course the new one's not. So I come back here, all my tools are in the trunk of the car. Come in here and oh yeah, I disconnected the battery, so now there's no way to get into the trunk. So is the interstate battery still good? Possibly, but it's not charged enough to start the car right now. It's at about 11.5, so we're just going to go ahead and keep this battery and say that I had a bad connection on the negative cable. Alright, so you threw a new battery in it and a new end on a negative terminal. You got everything figured out. Wrong! Nope, still didn't figure it out. Here we go again. So we wiggled the negative cable a bunch, cleaned up the terminals, and we got it running again with the new battery. And it was fine for a couple days, and then it started doing the same thing. I cut the positive terminal off, replaced both of those ends with this one, and still having the same issue. So right now, if I turn the car on, there's a couple check engine lights. So the lights I'm talking about, EPC, traction control, and now we have the battery light, which wasn't on before. But we're going to scan the codes just to see what they say. We know that's a brand new battery and we have the warranty and stuff, so yep, we knew about that one. Mass airflow. Alright, so we're getting a mass airflow code. That could be a voltage thing, I'm not sure. So let's see if the car starts today. Battery's strong, that light goes right off. EPC went away, the traction control light went away. So now if I shut the car off, I'll let it go through the idle down process. That light will go away when I restart it. So we'll shut it off now. Start it up again. I did have to pedal it a little there. So we might have a mass airflow sensor, even though I replaced that within the past year. I don't know about a warranty on that. So I had replaced both battery terminals with new ones, and then I was still having problems and was throwing a mass airflow code. But I'd already changed the mass airflow sensor back in September 2023. So we put the new oil pan on, and we got the new battery on 3/12/2024. And 3/13/2024 I got a new mass airflow sensor because I knew it was still under warranty. And I wasn't sure about it being completely junk or not, so I figured I'd go ahead and get one for the second time. So that's where we were at 3/13/2024. So right now I'm just going to wiggle this negative cable around and see if I can get the codes to come back inside the car. Wiggle this around. That just goes to the starter. But it definitely doesn't give me much confidence in the car, because I didn't do anything to fix it. So one thing I want to talk about when we're dealing with shady electrical issues is my car doesn't have any subwoofers or anything. It had wiring for an amplifier when I got it, but it's all disconnected. I removed the ones that run to the front of the car behind the radio, so I know they're not touching anything. But we're going to go ahead and pull this cable out just because. The type of person that puts in an amplifier and that drills 3 holes right here doesn't understand that the fuel tank is right under here. So yeah, hope you didn't go too deep there, bud. Alright, so I got it figured out now. Your negative cable starts here, it goes down, and then there's a connection here that splices off. It grounds to the body right here, and the other connection goes off, runs under these wires, comes out right here, and goes up to the engine right here. So this is going to be a 13 millimeter. Let's see. There we go. Not that bad. Could be covered in a little oil. I don't think so. So if you look at the connection here, it is a little oily, maybe. I got this connection cleaned up. Just one step further in trying to figure these issues out. We'll put that one back on. So while I'm doing it, I might as well try to be thorough and clean this connection and the post that it was on. So I've cleaned both of the major grounds, got it reconnected that one, put the battery tray back in. So we're going to put the battery back in now. Pretty simple. So after cleaning the ground that went to the engine, we're going to try to drive the Jetta again. What are we at now? 179,713. So here we are at 184,000 miles, and I never really figured out what that issue was. I'd replaced the battery, the ends on both terminals, cleaned the grounds. I did the mass airflow sensor for the second time, and then I would still have the issue sometimes where I have to pump the gas to get it to start. Everyone says I'm crazy because it doesn't have a carburetor. You shouldn't have to do that in a fuel injected car, and it shouldn't really work in a fuel injected car, but trust me, it works. So then I figured I would just clean the mass airflow sensor anytime I had to pump the gas to start it like that, and that seemed to work. So the other day I thought the issue came back and I had some check engine lights, so I went to this video, and that's when I figured out that my new problem is different. Isn't that good news, guys? We have another problem to solve. But the good news is the local Advanced Auto Parts is going out of business. So I was able to score some tools and a good deal on some oil. So hopefully we can get some more Jetta projects going and get this thing figured out.